Okay, let me just start this video off by saying that I am in no means a professional artist or nowhere near a professional. What I'm showing you now is just the first picture I ever drew of X. I drew this about 2-3 weeks after he ended up passing away. It took me about an hour, and overall I'm really proud of the work I did, and I decided today that I would just draw another one in remembrance of him. xxxtentacion passed away Monday, June 18th of 2018. It's almost been about 4 months. The whole generation was basically very hurt by this. Whether you loved him or didn't, this shocked everyone. He was caught up in an armed robbery in Florida where he was shot and killed. I personally have struggled with mental health issues involving the way I feel about myself and the way I see the world. And him and his music did change the way that I did see myself and the world, and in a way it made me evolve as a person. And although I did not know him personally, I do have the utmost respect for him and his family. He did leave behind a legacy. With everything coming out with the Peep song and his music videos, especially the Moonlight music video, which nobody expected at all, he still has a legacy and people still talk about him to this day. Even though it's been about 4 months, usually you forget about all that. And with X, you don't forget about it. Because he did move a whole generation. He has a legacy, and he was, like, when he passed away, he was only 20, mind you. As soon as, at that point in time, he was barely changing stuff around for him, and that was amazing. Things were changing. He was evolving as a person. He filmed the sad music video where it showed him killing his old self, or like laying his old self to rest, and that's when he was more of himself was evolving, and I had so much respect for that. The day I found out he passed away, I remember it was in the summer. I was in school at the time, not summer school or anything, but for my high school I had to meet up there because I'm in a special academy. And I remember scrolling through Instagram and finding everybody being, like, posting a video. The Snapchat video went viral of him in the car. And I remember seeing that and reading articles about him being shot. I remember I was in school and it happened and everybody was talking about it. And then I got home, and then that's when we had heard of his passing. After that, I locked myself in the restroom and I cried. I did nothing, just cried, simply because I was hurt. He was a good person, and the thing with Geneva and everything, it does have an impact, but only them, those two specific people only know the truth. I can't straight up say he's a bad person based on non-factual evidence that we are given. Which is hard, because now that he's gone, nobody really knows the truth besides Geneva. Which both of them have come out and said. I've heard it. It was around when the drama came out that it was a lie. And he was based off this stereotype that he was just a domestic abuser, when I wouldn't say he made up for it, but he did do good things. Right before he had passed away, he was going to do a charity event in Florida, and sadly he never got to do that. Now, upon drawing this, by the time I'm recording, filming, and editing this, it's a Friday night. I did this just for fun, and I just thought I would record it as well, and also voice my opinion on X and how I felt about him and how he changed me as a person. This generation is very easily manipulated and naive. You tell them one thing and then they base it off of that. You can call a teenager ugly and they'll automatically agree to it. I struggled with a lot of insecurities and how I felt about myself, as I mentioned earlier, and he was one of the people that sort of helped me a bit through that and helped me see myself as better than what I thought I was. I started listening to X around the Christmas of 2017, which is about a year ago now. And I did listen to him a bit after he ended up blowing up by, of course, Look at Me. I will admit I was a bit of a bandwagon, but then I focused more towards his more emotional songs. Songs like Ghost, Tightrope, Skin, etc. And I did lean towards more of that type of music from him than his more hyped up songs. Now, don't get me wrong, I love all of his songs, but his more emotional and in-depth songs, I would say, I lean more towards those, simply because it just sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and it's nice to know that I'm not alone. X did impact a lot of today's generation, involving teenagers, even adults. He did impact a lot of that simply through his music and his life. He talked about things that at the time he blew up, or at the time he started making that music, that a lot of rappers and artists were afraid to talk about. Things involving mental health, insecurities, depression, love. He wasn't necessarily afraid to talk about that, and through his music he just spoke his mind, and that was the beautiful part of everything. So seeing such a young, talented, and smart, I would say, artist go away, who had such an impact on more younger people, is sad. It's sad, and it's still something people are struggling with to this day, and my utmost, my condolences go to Cleo and basically everyone in his family, and now he has a baby on the way, and it's amazing. I simply drew this out of fun. I didn't expect to record it or make this. I was even debating on even voicing over this video, but I didn't want to half-ass my production. I wanted to put all my work into it, and I felt it would give the video more meaning in general. Now I'm just filling and coloring his hair. That's pretty much the only color that there is to this drawing, besides the numb tattoo underneath his eye, which I did in red. The rest is just in pencil. I wanted to draw more, like I wanted to draw his actual face and then color it, but I don't have the right materials for that at the moment. Now I'm just signing the paper, and here's the final product. I wanted to add on more to it, but when I tried to do it, I started getting frustrated because it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. So just here it is. Thank you for watching.